Coming up on today's Locked On Mavs, the Mavs lose again. And here we are talking about the Mavs every single day on Locked On Mavs. Let's do it.
Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Welcome to Locked On Mavs. This is one of your co-hosts, Isaac Harris, contributor to Mavs.com and Studio 41. And anything else you want to list that I contribute to. Obviously, half of Locked On Mavs, Nick Angstead, is out today, still on the Locked On Mavs, or Locked On Mavs. That'd be really sad if he was on Locked On Mavs retreat and I wasn't on it. He's on the Locked On retreat, and is it a coincidence the Mavericks lost again while I'm riding solo and Nick is off the pod? I'm beginning to think no. Mavs lose to the Pistons. You guys know this. If you're listening to this pod, you are a real one. Shout out. I love you. Mavs lose to the Pistons. I'm going to talk about this game, obviously, because like a lot of you guys, I sat there and watched every minute and second of this game and was really bummed whenever they lost. Because once again, the Mavericks lose to a team that is shorthanded, their best player, but also a team that is not that good at basketball. So we'll talk about that. And then the third segment is just a surprise because we're just going to talk about some things in the third segment. And actually, I'll tell you, the third segment of this podcast is titled for me, Things that are currently worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now. Stay tuned for the third segment of that. Have a good list going. Why somebody tweeted at me after the game. I shot out a tweet and I said, "Hey, what's the game plan for Locked On Mavs tonight?" It's like I feel like I've had too many of these games where I'm hopping on after a dumb loss and we're saying, "All right, what are we going to talk about?" Because Nick and I, we've been doing this pod for this is our sixth season doing talking Mavs every single day, and we stay pretty dang positive on the pod, and even we've talked about, I talked about this the other day about the idea of having expectations this year of you go to the conference finals and it's like you have one of the best players in the league, and it's just natural for the fan base and for everyone covering the team to be like, all right, you got to keep on moving forward, right? Like you got to at least have a team that's good enough to make a deep playoff run, or else there's a lot of fans and people are going to be frustrated. And this is where we're at, right? Like, so somebody tweet at me and say, "Hey, keep it positive tonight for all of us." And it's like, for one of the first times, it's hard to find a ton of positives right now because, outside of, hey, we have Luka, we have a generational superstar. All right. That's obviously a positive that we get to watch him play basketball every single night. A bunch of franchises would die to have just a cornerstone superstar generational talent. But outside of that, then you start looking at it, it's like, all right, what are you trying to pull away right now from this season as an exciting thing, as a positive? What are you telling yourself right now if you're saying, all right, I got, what's the positives I'm hanging on to? Because you start looking at a lot of things and just a lot of things aren't working out or not working out at the level that we thought, that some of us thought would work out at, like the JaVale McGee signing. I've said this a million times, but I was obviously wrong about that. I thought JaVale would be a solid upgrade from Dwight, come in, give us 15 to 18 minutes a game, roll to the rim, rebound, be a big body down low. And he just hasn't been that. He's been slower. He looks kind of, older this year and just hasn't worked out. That was your main free agent signing over the offseason. And in a game that you get out rebounded by over 20 rebounds, your starting center that you promised that you signed this offseason to a 3-year deal didn't see a single minute in the game. So you can't hang your hat on that for some positivity. So what's another thing? It's like, all right, the shooters aren't shooting at the same level as I thought they would. That they've shown that they could. They're just not playing at the same level as that. The Christian Wood experience. You can't sit there and say, man, this has been a positive thing. I feel like that's divided half the fan base there of like, oh, well, how do you feel about the Christian Wood experience in Dallas? You just look across of it and say, there's different times you can say, all right, well, this player outside of Luka, even like Spencer, you look at Spencer's stat line tonight, and Spencer attempted two shots the entire game. Like, I'm not talking about just overtime or the third quarter. 2 shots, Spencer Dinwiddie. And, he's not having a bad season, but he's not having a big time breakout, big time season that I thought he would have. I don't know. I wasn't saying, hey, he's going to be, a top point guard in the league, but I thought this was going to be one of the best seasons of his career. So you just start looking across the board and it's like, all right, Luka Doncic. And then outside of that, I mean, Tim has played well over the past 2 games. So I guess you could try to get there of saying, all right, well, at least Tim's playing well in that spot. Outside of that, it's literally just Josh Green, right? Like, is Josh Green taking a leap this year? Tell me, here you go. Should have did it earlier in the YouTube comments. What is outside of Luka Doncic and Josh Green? Are there any other positives I'm missing? What is the biggest positive for the Mavs this season? Is it Josh Green taking a leap? Are we all just kind of hanging our hats on that right now, saying, well, at least Josh Green took a leap? So yes, it is frustrating. Yes, I think it is. It's hard to find some of the positives right now because it's just, they've went 2-5 over their last 7 games. They're giving up a ton of points. Their defense is absolutely horrific right now. I joked about it during the game, and I'm like, hey, hats off to the Mavs defense. Let's praise them for a second because they did hold the Pistons under 100 points through 3 quarters. That's a big deal, as the Pistons just had 99 points after 3 quarters. So good job from the Mavs on that. All right, here's the deal. I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll talk about this game, and then we'll get to that third segment if possible. If you're still hanging around listening for the third segment at that point. This podcast is brought to you by our friends at BetOnline.net. It's your number one source for all your sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Let's check this site out. Let's see if we can find something for Sunday if you're an NFL fan. Some lines here. Oh, here's a good one that I'm really unsure about. The Jets are at the Vikings. Now, standings wise, the Vikings are one of the best teams in the league this year in the NFL. They're only getting 3 points. The Vikings are a -3 with the Jets coming to town. I guess people believe in the Jets that much. They have a good defense. Sauce Gardner's a lot of fun. Shout out to Mike White. I just feel like that's something that, I don't know, I would look at it. On BetOnline, Vikings are -3 with the Jets. So go check that out. It's the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from football to basketball to soccer to esports. Got it all on betonline.net. If you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. It's the fastest, easy way to get your betting fix. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right. This is a fun podcast. How great was that opener, by the way? The cold open before the intro song. Probably one of the worst ones we've ever done on the pod. So just don't tell Nick. A lot of people tweeting at me after the game saying, hey, just take the night off. Debatable. Thought about it for a second. But you know what? If I take the night off, that means less money. So let's just power through it. Get some coin off this game at least. And and then I'll go back to watching Home Alone 2 with my wife. All right. Let's talk about this game for a little bit. No Kimball Walker in this game. I know some people were wondering if he was going to play in the game. No Kimball Walker, and there was also no defense in this game. So there you go. First quarter starts. Luka puts up 14 points in the first quarter. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be one of those Luka games. He's saying, hey, we just beat the Warriors. I mean, that's another thing. It's like, can we not just have nice things? Can we not just have a fun little stretch of good basketball to where we're just all smiling and just holding hands and just like hopping around a circle and it's like, hey, like let's have fun together. Beating the Warriors the other night, just a great moment. No, we couldn't have that moment for just a few days. Back to reality. Snap back to reality. I think that's the lyric. And then the Pistons beat us, and you're like, all right, cool. Same team. Here we are. But Pistons hit a ton of crap in the first quarter. They hit like 5 threes in the first quarter. How good was Bojan in this game? I'll talk about Killian in just a second. Calm down. Koo, host of Locked On Pistons. He's literally the biggest Killian Hayes fan I've ever seen. He is the guy on Twitter. It's always like taking up for Killian, fighting with people on there. And what a night for him. What a night for Koo. So maybe if you want to just have fun with it and you need something like happy and positive in your life, go listen to Locked On Pistons. Maxey hit a couple threes. They go into halftime. It's like, all right, you're still not pulling away from this Pistons team. And cool. I hope you do. Did I text Bobby Corrala today and joke and say, hey, yeah, I'll be in the Mavs studio tomorrow after the Mavs have 2 wins in a row. Did I jinx it? Maybe. I don't care if you blame me. Blame me all you want. Third quarter happens. Good little stretch from Tim Hardaway there in third quarter. Had a defensive play because if Tim has a defensive play, it definitely stands out. And came down, got an and one. What did Tim finish with in this game? I think he continues to play better basketball, at least offensively. He hit 6 threes in this game. Shout out to Tim playing in Detroit with his dad in the stands. Nick would have definitely pointed that out. But yeah, 6 of 13 from 3 for Tim in this game. 26 points. He was 9 of 19 from the field. He always plays well in Detroit. And they needed his offense, and he's playing good basketball on the offensive side right now. It's just, can we get some other guys playing good basketball at the same time? That is the key. Bojan, man, hit some big shots for Detroit. Can we get Bojan on a good team, or at least a good team that Dallas won't play in the playoffs? Because a vet like that does not deserve to be on a lottery team. And no, he just got that extension. Yes, he would fit well in Dallas. There you go. 30 points. I've just always liked his game, and just a smooth man. He had a step back on Luka one time that was just nasty. I mean, it's just created a ton of separation and just drained it. And yeah. Mavs lose I'm just bouncing around right now. If you care about the structure of me recapping this game, then shoot me a DM. Sure. Mavs lose the rebounding battle in this game. Shout out 29-50. It's a 21-point difference. And got a few tweets. It's always funny because I never get the tweets from people whenever the Mavs win basketball games and they lose the rebounding battle. I get nothing. But the moment that they lose a game and they lose the rebounding battle, I get like a handful of tweets like, hey, rebounds, you suck. Mavs lost the rebounding battle to the Warriors the other night by over 10 rebounds, and they won that game. Tonight, they sucked rebounding the basketball, and it was tough. I mean, they couldn't get boards for anything. Detroit had 13 offensive rebounds in this game. That's just too much. Like, there's no reason for that. I mean, Marvin Bagley, there was a play, and I hate to even like call out a Christian Wood play because some people get upset about it, but there's the play in overtime that, shot goes up and Marvin Bagley just comes in and just like, it's just more physical than Christian Wood, just gets the board and goes back up with it. And I think you can even see Christian Wood saying, hey, my bad on that. But it's more than Christian Wood. I'm just saying that's a play that I remember. But I mean, all the other guys are just as guilty as Christian Wood in this. Like, they got to rebound the basketball better. I did see some tweets about JaVale McGee. Why didn't JaVale play? And I was just I was halfway laughing about it because it's like, all right, well, we got to pick one here because for a lot of people, they wanted JaVale never to play basketball again. And now we lose the rebounding battle. And it's like, hey, so about JaVale, can he play or um so anyway, talk about Killian Hayes. I was actually kind of surprised that they went away from Killian Hayes. There was a moment he was just lighting up. I think he hit like 3 shots in a row, mid-range pull up, smooth lefty. I liked him coming out of the draft. I didn't think he was going to be like superstar, but I mean, I liked him. Um, and then he hits those 3 shots, and then they go away from him a little bit. I'm saying, all right, cool for the Mavs, standpoint there. But if I'm a Pistons fan, I'm a little upset because he looked like he was in a little groove there, had some confidence, and yeah, they went back to him late, especially in overtime. Mavs defense just sucked there. Towards the end of the fourth quarter, I was watching some of the lineup stuff. He went with Maxey over Christian Wood there late, but then he put Christian Wood right back in the game. What about the play that Luka misses the free throws and then hits the 3-pointer? I'm like, what is even happening? The Maxey back cut pass to Reggie that took some a little time off my life because I was all nervous, and it was, yeah. Isaiah Stewart missed 3 at the buzzer. It goes in OT. What do we have to do for the Mavs to shoot better free throws? Is this like a ceremony that we need to do? Do I just need to shoot free throws on a live stream for like, I don't know, an hour straight and just see if I can make the same amount of free throws as the Mavs? Um, I don't know what it is. I don't know what we need to do for the Mavericks to shoot better free throws. Let's see what Luka was tonight. Luka was 2 of 6 from the free throw line. Christian Wood 4 of 6. Yeah, Dwight missed 3 free throws tonight. Dinwiddie missed 2. It was just you can't. What's crazy is Detroit missed 10 free throws tonight and they still won the game. So cool. Dallas just missed 15 of them. Super big bummer on that. Anything else about the game? Overtime, Christian Wood, Maxey, Tim Hardaway, Dorian, Luka to start overtime. Once again, I'm just monitoring these lineups. No Josh Green, no Reggie Bullock, no Spencer Dinwiddie there to start overtime. But it starts off. Luka gets that floater. Luka gets the layup. Tim Hardaway gets the layup, and then it just goes kind of downhill from there. Of some turnovers that there's a Luka reaction of the play where Maxey catches it on the short roll. This is when Jason Kidd's talking about playing 4-on-3 basically, and because you create these opportunities whenever you run these high pick and rolls, and then you get your big catching it there in that short roll around the free throw line, having them make the decision. Do the guys in the corners, do they stay home? Do they cut to the basket? Do they go to the dunker spot? However, and then you typically have a guy that's going to be out on the wing also. And Maxey, he rushed it. That's point blank simple. He rushed it. He started passing the ball before he even turned his head around. Threw it behind Tim. Luka had a big reaction. It's going, people clipped it and was sharing how mad Luka is, and rightfully so. He can't be happy right now, right? Like, I mean, he's playing dang good basketball. He's one of the MVP favorites in the NBA, and they're just not playing good team basketball right now, and it's a big bummer. You look at the standings and you just get frustrated. But on a positive note, if we want to say that, at least there's at least it's still early in the season a little bit, and it's not the biggest gap in the world between teams and wins and losses and all of that. But it's frustrating. And Killian Hayes just put the nail in the coffin at the end, just bucket after bucket, draining it in their face. Jason Kidd called the Mavs defense post game, and he said it was like a shoot around out there. Yeah, that's that. Third segment coming up. Mavs basketball is kind of hard to watch right now. So let's list off some things that are worse than the Mavs playing basketball right now. Coming up next. All right, I'm back. Let's do this. Let's finish this pod out. Let's just have some fun here. Tired of talking about this game. I gotta take a drink first. Shout out if you want to watch me take a drink of the sweet tea. All right, here we go. I also want to shout out to the guy on Twitter who did try to tweet at me a positive thing for the Mavs right now or after this game. He tweeted at me and said, hey, maybe they're just building adversity early in the season. My guy, I like you. All right. I do like you. I like you trying to find the silver lining. There you go. That's all I'll have for you. All right, let's do this. Let's have some fun. Things that are worse than the Mavs playing basketball right now. Applebee's. Applebee's is one of the worst chain restaurants I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know who eats there. So if you eat there, you want to shout out. This segment's probably going to get me in trouble because I'm going to say some take that y'all are going to be all upset about. And you're going to be like, hey, Applebee's is great. The song, have you heard of the song? Yes, I've heard the song. All right. Walker Hayes. Cool. I don't really do a lot of country music. Sorry. But there you go. Something else that's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now. Maybe Ticketmaster with Taylor Swift sales. Did anybody on here try to get Taylor Swift tickets? I did not. But I did pass some people at my job that day, whenever that day was. And they were just walking around with their like computers open. I'm like, what are we doing? Are we trying to like online shop here? Like what? Which I guess it kind of is. Like, why are we? It looked like they were like trying to get like cell service or something, holding their computer everywhere they went. I'm like, what is going on? What are you doing? I'm in line. I'm in line to get Taylor Swift tickets. Oh, okay. You're probably not gonna get them. And Ticketmaster, I guess, shut the thing down, and a lot of Swifties out there, a little hasty, probably. So, what's something else that's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now? You know what's worse than that? Stepping on Legos in the middle of the night. That sucks so bad. And so I'm just trying to find the silver lining here of like, all right, it's frustrating watching Mavs play basketball. What's worse than that? I hate stepping on toys in the middle of the floor. And it makes me just like want to go wake up my 4-year-old and be like, hey, can you just get up out of the bed for a second? Can you step on these? And but that's probably really mean. Pick up your Legos. Here's another thing that's worse than Mavs playing basketball right now. Pulling away from the fast food line and your order is wrong. I know this is like super American first world thing here, and but you know, you get down the highway, like you're in a rush, and you like pull out the like Chick-fil-A bag, and you're saying, dang it. Well, I did not want mayo or whatever it is on tough feeling. Warrior City jerseys. This is definitely worse than anything the Mavericks are doing on the basketball court right now. The fact that they're wearing like some like rose garden on their jersey, it looks like you guys ever been to like a flea market before? And you're like there with some like friends or family just trying to find some deals, and there's like this booth with like the most random jerseys you've ever seen before. It looks like they bought the design for this Warriors jersey from that. It's just so bad. Something else that's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now, Peeps at Easter. Possibly the worst edible candy, food, whatever you want to say, ever on the universe of this planet. All right. If you eat Peeps, I don't want you to tweet at me because then I'm just gonna like block you because you eat Peeps. And now they start like coming out with different flavors of Peeps. I'm like, who is buying Peeps? I've never seen anybody buy Peeps. Hey, have you ever seen a human being with Peeps in their like to-go basket at the self-checkout? I've never seen it before. So who's buying them? Who's buying them enough for them to say, you know what we need? We need barbecue flavored Peeps or some random flavor that they're coming up with. Dumbest thing. Something that's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now, Russell Wilson's leadership. My guy. No, he's not even my guy. Is there a cornier professional athlete right now? Change my mind. Is it not Russell Wilson? The play or the whole teammate coming off the field and like yelling at me, I was kind of laughing. He just seems so corny, and there's just no way I could. If you're a Broncos fan right now, bless your soul. I don't even know what to like tell you. Here's one for you. Americans arguing that it's called soccer. Can we give it up? Like, yeah, we grew up calling it soccer in our little like upward leagues of like, hey, cool. Little Connor is going to play soccer. That's cool that we call it soccer, but it doesn't mean that it's the right word. And I think it's so weird that Americans are like trying to like lead this like chant right now. It's like, hey, it's not called football, it's called soccer. Yeah, that's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now. If you absolutely hate this segment, I'm sorry. You probably already turned it off by now. But if you love it, let me know. We're just hanging out, having fun. What else are we gonna do? Talk about this game more? Yeah, because that's something I'm not gonna do. All right, something else. You know what's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now? My wife's sending me parenting TikToks. I joke all the time that it feels like anything my wife tells me about parenting, it comes from Instagram or TikTok. And I'm like, now I've just started responding like, hey, did TikTok mom tell you that? Or did IG moms? And the amount of TikToks or reels that I get sent from my wife, and it's like just some random parenting thing I've sent. And some of it, I'm like, is it even true? Like, hey, to all the moms out there, I just want to tell you, if your kid is wearing blue and he sleeps with 2 pillows at night, it's supposed to increase their positivity and their nap time for the next day. And like it'll be sent to me like, hey, we need to do this. I'm like, but is it true? Or we're just listening to TikTok mom. Please somebody send this third segment to Nick. This is an all-timer. Something that's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now, my dog's haircut, when they call me and tell me, hey, your dog has mats in their hair. You know, my dog comes back and I have a golden doodle, and it's like, it feels like the most pitiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It looks like one of those like rat dogs or whatever. Some of you probably have one of these ugly rat dogs, and I probably should have called him ugly. Anyway, and y'all know what dog I'm talking about. But, like, she comes back and she has, like, they had to just shave her hair off, and I'm like, it looks so bad. You don't even know what kind of dog she is. I just feel so bad, and I just wanna, like, hold my dog all the time because then I'm like, "Oh, are you cold?" And, I just hate it so much. Something else that's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now, Gen Z canceling the thumbs up emoji. Did y'all see this article the other day in the New York Post? That apparently Gen Z has canceled the thumbs up emoji for, I guess it's more hostile. It's hostile, and there's a list of some other emojis, like the poop emoji and some other things, and I'm like, okay. So, make sure you stay. Now I've thoroughly enjoyed anybody who sent me the thumbs up emoji, which I don't even use this emoji much. Anybody who sent me that emoji, I've just sent them that article back. I'm just like, hey, here you go. Like, you just offended me by sending me the thumbs up emoji. Last but not least, something that is worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now, Kanye West. There you go. Thanks for listening. Seriously, thanks for listening. If you made it to the end of this pod, tweet at me and tell me something that's worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now. I need to know that. And okay, and let me tell you this because I need to apologize. Guys, there was way more people than I ever imagined would tweet at me and tell me that they made it to the end of that podcast not too long ago, that I threw out the promise that I would follow you on Twitter. Way too many people than I ever imagined. If you really, really want me to follow you, shoot me a DM and I will follow you. Okay. I can't at this point, I can't go back through the notifications, and that really bothers me because I really like keeping my word. But shoot me a DM and say, hey, I made it to the end of that podcast the other day and you never followed me. I will follow you then and there. I am sorry. It has legitimately bothered me because I do like keeping my word. But if you've made it to the end of this podcast, tweet at me. You can include Nick too, because Nick's not gonna have any clue what we're even talking about. What is worse than the Mavericks playing basketball right now? Give me something, and let's try to make it appropriate for the online world, whatever that means. Guys, it's been good, kind of. We'll be back with Saturday's game. It's an early tip, and I'll be playing the New York Knicks. And catch me tomorrow. I'll be on Friday in the studio with the Mavs with Bobby, Studio 41, going live on Twitch, streaming, probably taking questions, playing some games, doing some fun stuff during the day on Friday. So make sure you do that. Guys, peace out. Boo.